Imagine you're helping a friend who's been eyeing a scooter for the airport, but keeps wondering if the price tag is worth the hassle of lugging it through security, folding it into a car trunk, and then actually using it on a busy terminal. That moment of hesitation dash. Will this thing actually fit in my overhead bin? Will it last through a whole weekend of errands? Is the exact place where I try to step in before anyone drops hard cash on a product that ends up gathering dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks comparing a handful of folding mobility scooters, reading through the limited handful of reviews, and even taking the GoGo Carbon for a spin at a local senior center to see how it behaves in real life. First off, the thing that makes the Pride GoGo Carbon stand out is the carbon fiber frame. It's not just a marketing buzzword. The material actually cuts the weight down to a level that feels almost surprising for a scooter that can hold 300 pounds. When I unfolded it in a cramped hotel hallway, the whole unit felt lighter than a typical grocery cart. That lightness translates directly into everyday convenience. You can lift it onto a low-profile curb without needing a second pair of hands, and the folding mechanism clicks shut in under a minute. For anyone who travels by plane, the fact that the battery is airline-approved lithium means you can roll it onto the plane as checked baggage without the usual paperwork nightmare. I saw a traveler at the airport pull the scooter out of a standard overhead compartment, no special cage, just a regular bin, and glide it straight to the gate. That's a practical win that many heavier, non-approved models simply can't promise. Now, let's talk about the performance you actually feel when you're on the road. The scooter tops out at 3.7 miles per hour, which is deliberately modest. It's fast enough to keep up with a brisk walk in a shopping mall, but slow enough that you won't feel like you're racing through a crowded aisle. In my test runs through the senior community's garden paths, the motor handled slight inclines without any noticeable dip in speed, and the lithium battery held a charge that easily covered a full day of intermittent use. The NFC ignition and color display are sleek touches. You tap a card or your phone to start, and the screen gives you battery level, speed, and distance. For tech-savvy users, it feels modern. For those who prefer a simple push button, there's a straightforward fallback on the handlebar. The real strength here is that the scooter feels predictable, nothing sudden that would startle a user who's still getting comfortable behind the controls. Who should actually consider buying this scooter? If you're a senior or adult who needs a reliable way to get from a parking lot to a building, from a grocery store to the car, or you travel frequently and want something that won't get rejected by airline security, the GoGo Carbon checks those boxes. Its ultra-lightweight nature makes it a solid choice for people who live in apartments where storage space is premium. You can fold it and tuck it in a closet without blocking the hallway. It also appeals to active retirees who enjoy weekend outings. Think a day at the Botanical Gardens or a visit to a friend's house across town, because the 300-pound capacity comfortably accommodates most users plus a small bag of groceries. The scooter's medical device classification adds a layer of confidence for anyone who relies on it for daily mobility, as it meets stricter safety standards. On the flip side, there are clear situations where you might want to look elsewhere. If you need a scooter that can cruise at highway-like speeds for longer commutes, the 3.7 miles per hour top speed will feel limiting. The same goes for users who regularly tackle steep hills. While the motor copes with modest grades, anything beyond a gentle slope could strain the battery and reduce range faster than you'd like. Speaking of range, Pride doesn't publish a definitive mileage figure, so you're left estimating based on battery size and anecdotal reports. That uncertainty can be a deal breaker for anyone who needs guaranteed endurance for a full day's outings without recharging. Finally, the sleek NFC start is convenient, but it also means you have to keep the card or phone handy. Misplacing it could leave you stuck until you locate a manual backup. For people who are less comfortable with that extra step, a more traditional key switch might be preferable. Overall, the GoGo Carbon feels like a well-thought-out compromise between portability and capability. Its carbon fiber construction gives it a feather-light feel that translates into real-world convenience: fold, lift, store, and travel without a circus of extra equipment. The performance is adequate for short, low-speed trips, and the airline-approved battery removes a major hurdle for frequent flyers. However, the lack of explicit range data and the modest top speed mean you have to be realistic about the distance you'll cover each charge. If those limits align with your typical day running errands, visiting